morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to the gentle chaos that is So Under the Crafts channel, podcast, YouTube source. Basically, my name is Bara. I live in Czech Republic, which is a small country in the heart of Europe. I live here in Brno, which is a second largest city, and we live here in a small flat with my boyfriend and our dog, Princess Cyrilla. And this channel is focused on knitting, crocheting, fiber arts in general, and occasional other crafts like sewing, embroidery, spinning, cosplay crafting, whatever basically I make. I tend to base my crafts on fantasy, sci-fi, and other fictive worlds, hence the nerdy name. And today I would like to talk about my plans for this year, so 2024, in terms of knitting. So I'm surrounded by yarn right now because I have a lot of these supplies already with me, and I'm just a little bit overwhelmed, but I will show you one by one what I plan to do. But long story short, how I decided to plan this year, because I love planning. I'm not as well in executing plans, but I love preparing. I will do a Make 9 as I did the year before and when I started knitting. So this will be my third full year knitting, and my third Make 9. So I'm going to show you what I have here. 9 projects, 9 patterns that I already planned. And then I also decided that I will participate in a sock call that is for the whole year. So I will tell you a little bit about that at the end. But first thing first, what I'm wearing my Ranunculus number 2. It's a pattern by Midori Hirose, perhaps the most famous and most knitted pattern for tops that is on Ravelry. Very versatile. You can knit it from lace, you can knit it from fingering, you can knit it from worsted, you name it. And for mine, I used merino single from La Bien-Aimée, and it's a colorway air guitar. So it's a gray with neons, which on the sleeves created these nice stripes. On the body there is a little bit of pooling, but I like that. One thing I will say, because you notice, I did my neckline way too wide. When I was working on my first ranunculus, I had it too tight, so I decided to increase the amount of stitches, make some alterations, and I had the other extreme, so it's very, very wide here. So what I did is that I tucked it in my top that I have underneath. So if you feel like there's something really wrong about this, it's just tucked here, but I hope it won't be too distracting. Anyways, I love it. I still wear it even though it's slightly more open here than I wanted. So yeah, ranunculus. And now we can dive into my Make 9. So first off, 9 projects that I want to make this year. Starting with La Prairie cardigan from Joji Locatelli. I have only one cardigan that I knitted so far, so I have more here in my plans because I wear them actually a lot with dresses. I wear a lot of skirts and dresses. I practically don't wear pants to work anymore. I don't remember when was the last time I wore pants at work. Maybe pre-COVID. So I wear a lot of cropped sweaters or cardigans. So I will make myself several this year, starting with La Prairie. First, a little bit of story, but some of you who are here as a returning viewers, you might have heard it. I attended Barcelona Knits Festival last year in November. It was my first experience with Yarn Festival. It was amazing. And you will see a lot of yarn from there featured here because I have plans with it. The first, this also is related to the pattern. I saw this pattern online before, I liked it, but it wasn't really my thing. But then at the festival, there was this group of ladies and they all wore this pattern, this cardigan. One had it just solid color, the other ones had it faded because that's the original design. But all of the versions were so beautiful. And every time I saw them, and I met them several times because you just keep, you know, running, you still keep seeing the same people at the festival. And every time I saw them, I was like more and more like, maybe I should do this cardigan too. And we went there with my friend, and she was on the same page with me with that. So we decided we will make a little knit along for the two of us this year, and we will cast on this cardigan. So we both bought supplies for it over there. And also, we also casted it on last year, but yeah, that was it. We then didn't pursue it. So this is the only project that I can actually show you as a work in progress, although I'm not sure if it counts. So this is my cardigan. Let me see what's the... let me just work through this a little bit because it's a little bit tangled. So let me see. I think this is the... Yeah, I think this is the right size. So it has cables. Basically, it's knitted. This is the back, and it will be knitted as in a flat, not in a not in circle, but flat. And it has a lot of cables and some bubbles, puffs. Anyways, a lot of structure. And so I casted it on. It's quite elaborate knitting, I believe. No, so far my experience was that it's quite involved, so it's not gonna be something that I will be knitting like, you know, just every day. And the yarn is this one. I bought it also in Barcelona. It's Hypatia by Aitana Villa Yarns, which is Spanish yarn. Let me see. I believe so. It's a Spanish brand. The colorway is called Autumn 23, so it's was like a special autumn colorway that they have. And I decided that I will make the pattern from just one colorway. So as I mentioned, it's originally as a fade, but I first of all I picked a very colorful yarn, and second, I quite like the idea that it will be just one colorway throughout the whole thing. So this is my go-to. It's beautiful, actually. What this reminds me, especially because I bought it in autumn, is when it's like a, you know, late autumn already, all the leaves are down, everything is like brown and like dead already, but there are still roses blooming. I don't know if you noticed, but roses tend to bloom throughout the whole, most of the year. So what we have here in Czech Republic is that sometimes you just see roses blooming in November, and this is exactly what this reminds me. So when I pick this, that's the image that I have in mind, basically. So yeah, that's the number one project, and that's perhaps also the one that I will start working on as first, because I already did. So yeah, and it already has its home in this beautiful bag that I also bought in Barcelona. So yeah, that's number one. Let me just see if I didn't, yeah, let me just, and that's what I'm talking about. That's what happens sometimes. Number two, it's something that I'm carrying over from last year's plans. So if you watched my video about 2023 goals and knits and make 9, you heard about this one. It's a bookish cardigan. So again, a cardigan from Boho Chic Fiber Co. And this year I'm better prepared. I already have the yarn. Again from Barcelona. It's Mota by Wool Dreamers. I have four skeins? 4 or 5 in total for this cardigan. It's color 150G, 100 grams, 230 meters. DK, I believe, maybe even thicker. Anyways, it's a local Spanish yarn with a very ecological background, and also it was very affordable. I was surprised compared to the indie dyers that were on the festival, that were selling their yarns at around 25-23 euros a piece, which is completely understandable. This was about 5 euros or not? 8 or 9, sorry, not 5, about, but it still was like so much cheaper. I was really surprised. So and it's very fluffy and very soft. So yeah, this is my go-to. I wanted to make this cardigan from like a very gingery, rustic brown color, so this completely fits the vision. And yeah, I'm very excited about it. So again, I'm ready. I'm doing this. Ooh, sorry, I hope I didn't mess up the view too badly. Okay, moving on to the third one. Again, something that I'm already prepared for. From Barcelona. That's the last one from Barcelona. I decided that I will make Slipstravaganza shawl. I am a big fan of Stephen West's shawls. I participated in his Mystery Knit Along twice. Once even with the timeline. The second one is the last year's that I'm still working on, as you might know. But yeah, this one is, I believe, 2021 pattern. No, 2020. Few years back. It's a beautiful big shawl that needs 5 skeins of yarn, 1 main color. You need 2 skeins of that and 3 contrast colors. So I'll start with the main color. I have 2. It's this one, and I already winded this. It's by 7 Oczek, which is Polish brand, and it's a willow 4-ply. So 2 balls of this main color. And now, who is she? For the contrast colors, I have 3 skeins from this brand here, Tricot and Stitch. It's, I believe, French/English duo, or like a team that makes and dyed yarn. And I bought these. So this will be the final color combination. The white will be the main color that will be a kind of working with all 3 of them. And if I remember correctly, these 3, the neon ones, won't be actually too close to each other in the pattern, but we'll see how it will go. So yeah, it will be a very colorful piece. Now this is how it looks like, and I was shopping for it purposely in Barcelona, and it took me quite a while to figure out these colors. I mean, I bought the neon ones. That was love on a first sight, and I don't know if you can see, but the yarn has stellina, 5% of stellina, so it's sparkly. Not only it's neon, it's sparkly, so you can't go to more like Feywild fairy from there. So yeah, I bought those completely like in a moment. And then I was just it took me a little bit to pick the right main color for them. My original plan was to have something dark, but then I thought it will be perhaps a little bit too harsh to have like a black or deeper brown color and then the neons. So I went with this off-white, and I think it was a good choice. I realize it's perhaps not the most practical to have white shawl, but in the same time I think that will work really well together. And these already have a home. They live in this beautiful bag by Decida. That's a Czech yarn dyer, and she this bag was part of her advent calendar 2022, Earth and Water. So the colorways in that calendar, the minis, were in that like different shades of brown, beige, blue, and this bag went with it perfectly. So yeah, that's another project, and that's the number 3. Moving to 4, and moving from Barcelona to some other places. My 4th project is Summer Sorel, or should I say just Sorel. I'm still not sure what version will I make, but I'm not a big fan of short sleeves, so I will most likely make long sleeves and again a slightly cropped version. And for that I already have my yarn. Let me prepare it for you in my hands. This one. It's a sturdy sock base from Chromatic Yarns, aka the Corner of Craft. Hannah, the owner of this yarn brand, is usually dyeing her yarn according to Dungeons and Dragons world, and she has a monthly yarn club that is called Knittical Role, inspired by Critical Role. It's a very famous D&D group that broadcasts their D&D sessions, so Dungeons and Dragons, and they have several campaigns. I think they're at their 3rd big campaign now, and she made colorways. Last year she made colorways inspired by their 1st campaign, because it was made into a TV series on Amazon Prime, I believe, called Legends of Vox Machina. So with that, she got inspired by the characters and their design from the TV show. And this particular set is inspired by their cleric. Her name is Spike Trickfoot. The colorway is called My God Can't Hear Me, inspired by her struggles with her faith. And Spike is a very personal choice for me, because she's a character that I cosplay. I will put pictures here so you can see me as her, and I really love the character. And she's usually she's wearing an armor, and she has like blue accessories, and her god is Everlight, the god of light and sun basically, hence these very light colors. So I very much enjoy them. And I will knit them this year into a top. The Summer Sorrel, by the way, not sure if I mentioned, is a pattern by Wool and Pine Designs. Yeah. Moving to number 5, Hufflepuff sweater. So, if you are here for multiple times, you saw me talking about my Ravenclaw sweater. I also made a Slytherin sweater. And for next year, I plan to make Hufflepuff sweater. I decided that I will eventually make all 4 of the houses, although I'm not a big fan of Gryffindor. Sorry, folks. But yeah, I will make that sweater anyways. So for 2024, the plan is Hufflepuff. The pattern is by Meghan Regan, as all the other ones too. And the yarn I don't have yet. So that's one of the few projects that I will have to buy my yarn for. But I do have some ideas. I would like to again buy from Attic Yarn. That's yarn dyer from Czech Republic. Instagram friend of mine basically, and she makes yarn again inspired by different fantasy worlds. I really enjoyed her Witcher collection that I that I am using for the Ravenclaw sweater already, but she also had a very nice black and very nice yellow there. So I'm looking at you and I'm thinking maybe I will buy them for the Hufflepuff sweater too. So that's the current plan. We'll see how it will turn out. But yeah, by the way, the pattern itself, it has 2 versions, a DK weight and a fingering weight. I'm always making the fingering weight yarn patterns. I live in a quite warm, like geographical territory. So if I can have the choice, I prefer to knit from a lighter yarn and have the possibility to wear those knits throughout the bigger portion of the year. So yeah, Hufflepuff sweater. Moving to number 6. That's again an ongoing thing that I do. So I mentioned I'm wearing Ranuncles number 2. This is my future Ranuncles number 3. I have 3 cones of this yarn. I'm showing you just 2 because I have 2 hands. It's Kinu by Ito. It's a Japanese brand. And this is a yarn that's 100% silk. I never knitted from pure silk. I knitted with mohair with silk. I knitted with some fingering, some merino which had a little bit of silk, but I never knitted with silk. So this will be my first time. I love the colorway. I bought it as discounted yarn from Banja Sestry, my local yarn shop, and yeah, at the end of the year they had discount for some summer yarns. So I took these. Yeah, and I will make another ranunculus, which is a sweater pattern by Midori Hirose. Yeah. So again, something that's already in my stash, so it will happen. Number 7. That's something that I picked to challenge myself. I will make Montmartre jumper. A pattern by Fabel Knitwear, sorry. She's a designer that makes very vintage looking patterns and pieces. I really love her designs. I am just, gathering my courage to make it and wear it. So that's what held me back so far, but I incorporated in my plans this year. And I really want to try it at least. So she has this cardigan, it's a sweater, and like primarily made as something with stripes. I won't be making that, but I thought I will use this colorful yarn. I received it for Christmas year ago, like not last year, but the year before. I have 4 skeins of this. It's brown, blue, and white colored yarn. So my expectation is that there will be quite some stripes made from this. I will try to alternate skeins, so I don't have much pooling there. Unfortunately, I have no idea who made this. I received a paper with these skeins from the for Christmas, but I don't have it anymore, and I'm very sorry, but I don't remember who the dyer was. I believe it's Decida, but I'm not 100% sure. Check dyer. So yeah, I have 4 skeins of this. I want to try to make the Montmartre jumper out of it, and again, it should be a piece that will be variable with my skirts, dresses. So yeah, with a slightly different silhouette than I'm used to, but I really like it. 8, moving to the finale. And I finished my coffee here. Is Unbearable Hoodie. It is designed by Maxim Cyr, Maxim Cyr, Canadian, a designer from Canada. One half of Les Garçons duo. He made this beautiful hoodie design with bears that made me fall in love with knits and knitting and knitwear. So it's on my list since day one I started knitting, and I had it in my Make 9 last year. I just didn't manage to figure out the colorway. This year I have an idea. So I hope it will work. By the way, what I found really works for me is to inspire my color palette for multicolored projects, to pull it from something that already exists. Now, I'm not saying that I copy someone else's the exact same pattern in the exact same colors, although I feel like it's completely okay if you see someone making a pattern that you want to make in a color combination that's completely fits you and you would want to do it, why not? But I get inspired from different sources. For example, a fictional character, and I play a lot of these like games. What's going on? I need a little bit of air. Give me a moment. My apologies. Where was I? Yes, color inspiration. So I play a lot of games that feature a lot of characters that have a special color palette, or I also like to get inspiration from like animals or paintings, or basically things that already have a certain color palette that's already somehow working. So I start with that usually, and then I go, with what's available. So with this project, with the Unbearable Hoodie, I have a character in mind that has a special color palette, and I'm contemplating on using that color palette for that project. We'll see. So yeah, I already made like a mental progress on this project by knowing or having an idea in what direction I want to do with this one. So yeah, number 8. And the last one, number 9, is a project that made it here because it will be part of one knit-along that I want to participate in. It's hosted by Wool Point, this Czech yarn shop based in Prague. And they make, every year they make a knit-along that consists of, they basically announced a designer, and you can make whatever design from that designer you want during that said year. So they announced that the designer for this year will be Woolen Pine, which, if you remember, is Summer Sorrel and these yarns on the list already. But the idea for their knit along, and of course you can participate with whatever yarn you want, but they also held like a little raffle at the end, and if you want to participate in that one, you logically should work on your project from the yarn you bought in their shop. So I put this last piece here that's called the Voyage Cardigan, and it's a very colorful piece that I plan to use for first my stash basting, because the body is made from color work that basically just combines multiple colors. I believe it's really up to you how many colors you use. You can stick to just a couple, or you can simply go through all your stash and just do every pattern in a different one. And then it has these like sections like sleeves and button bands, and the neckline in like a main color, let's say. And I will of course use their wool, their well, yeah, most likely wool, their yarn for that piece. So I still need to buy that, but I really like the idea of again stash bust a little bit more and using my leftovers above all, because I do a lot of socks, which usually use about 65-70 grams, so I'm left with like around 30 grams of that sock yarn. Of course, when I do a sweater, I also have some leftovers, and I use a lot of fingering weight, so I have a lot of fingering weight scraps too. So yeah, that's the plan with that. Yeah, Woolen Pine design, but I believe I mentioned that. So yeah, that concludes the main part of my year. 9 patterns that I'm really passionate about already, all of them. So I'm really looking forward to start knitting it. I haven't started yet with any of these except the La Prairie. But yeah, I'm working on decreasing my amount of whips so I can accommodate this very soon. The other bit that I plan for this year is to participate in a big sock knit along that's hosted by Super Štibanka. It's a Czech knitter and knitwear designer too. Sorry. She actually had one pattern featured by Line magazine once, so that's really great. Congratulations. And she's hosting a special sock knit along this year. It's called Super Sock Cow, and it will have 6 stages. In each stage you will make 1 pair of socks, so every 2 months you will have a theme for sock knitting. She only announced the theme of the first one, which is currently ongoing. We're in month of February, so of course, and that would be 2-tone socks. So you're supposed to use 2 colors for your socks for this first theme or first stage, and then every other month she will announce a new one, and you're supposed to make a new pair of socks. So ideally at the end of the year you will end up having 6 pairs of socks. And I am a very passionate sock knitter. I never planned them like in Make 9 or something like that. I simply make them along with my other projects. I usually use them as my traveling project or something that's like yeah, small and quicker relatively. So this is something that I can really accommodate very easily because I would be knitting those socks anyways. So yeah, that's my second and last planned activity for knitting for this year. Yeah, that's it. Knowing myself, I'm pretty sure I will do more. I already have other plans too, a lot of them actually, but yeah, we'll see how that will go. I do want to dig deep into my stash this year to really use up as much yarn as I can. You saw already that basically I can easily cast on, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of those 9 projects I already have yarn for, so that's amazing. I only need to buy yarn for the unbearable hoodie, the voyage cardigan, and the Hufflepuff sweater. Other than that, I'm all set. So let's decrease that big stash this year. Let's make some room for finished object instead of yarn, and let's just make our knitting dreams true this year. So yeah, thank you for joining me today for my little talk about my plans. I hope you are also ready for your plans, and yeah, let me know what you have in mind for this year, whether you already started, whether you already have a first finished object of the year, and let me know in general how you're doing. Okay, have a really great day, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye bye.